the Empath Sisters. Join these two healing sisters, Bev Lazar and Shelly Greenlaw, walking the path of spirituality and are here to share their experiences and guidance within the realms of energy, intuition, spirit, and beyond.
There we go.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Empath Sisters. I'm your host, Shelly Greenlaw, and of course, joining me today is my co-host, Beverly Lazar, and we are so excited to be back.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are very excited to be back because we have a special guest today, and we're very excited to bring her on today to talk about something that we think is really important and for you guys, all listeners, to do. And before we, really dive in, I really want to just introduce her right now. And her name is Carissa Peters, and she is the owner of Sculpted Cosmetics. And she's also a Brazilian lymphatic drainage specialist. And she's based out of Saskatoon. And I do know that Bev actually goes and sees her in person.
I do. I definitely do. Yes. I'm very, very lucky to do so. So welcome, Carissa, to our podcast. We're so happy to have you here and to share all of the most amazing things about you and what you do with our listeners, and what it is that you can provide for them. So welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we would love to hear a little bit about your story, maybe a little bit about what you offer, what is Brazilian lymphatic drainage, and also I feel like I want to say just on my end, somebody who has seen Carissa for the Brazilian massage and I would have to say it's definitely like another healing modality for me and my body. And I also really, really wanted Carissa to be on our podcast so that she could just kind of be out there a little bit more. I want more people to know about her and what she does, because as I know, most of us are all kind of on our journey looking for things to do to help us and assist us on our healing journey, whatever that looks like. And Carissa is an amazing, beautiful soul. She has amazing energy, and she is so caring and so genuine, and she is got the healer touch. So I'm just super happy to have you here, and we'd love to hear all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, Carissa, how did you become a Brazilian lymphatic drainage specialist?
So I started my business. I started Sculpted Cosmetics. It'll be 5 years in July. I was in the health, fitness, and nutrition field 15 years prior to that. So I was working in the gyms as a personal trainer and nutritionist for years before moving into Brazilian lymphatic drainage therapy.
Okay.
In 2020, I had some friends and family go and get some cosmetic procedures done, and that's really where my journey started. Where
amazing.
In multiple other countries, lymphatic drainage for post-operative care is huge. It was something that I was skilled to do, and went down to the United States and did my training, and that is really how I kicked off Sculpted Cosmetics and got into the world of Brazilian lymphatic drainage.
Okay.
Amazing. That is really cool.
Okay.
Yes. I had no idea that it was like post-operative as well. I had no idea. So that is really cool. So is there particular post-operative surgeries that people would come for this or come to see you?
Post-operative can mean many different things. Majority of what we see is cosmetic. So you would see it's almost mandatory to do post-operative lymphatic drainage massage after any tummy tucks, breast augmentations, liposuction. But then we're also going to the world of orthopedic surgeries, knee replacements, hip replacements. And then we even go to surgeries for hysterectomies. We see quite a few hysterectomies come in. Surgeries such as like a appendix removals or gallbladder removals, anything like that, we'll do post-op because we're still dealing with inflammation, getting those antibiotics out of the system, the swelling. It obviously speeds up the healing and recovery time for anyone post-surgery.
Yeah. Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. I did read about that actually, and I thought it was pretty cool because
that's quite a range.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But majority of my clients,
well, at least now I know. Yeah.
Majority of the clients are your everyday people who probably are not going under surgery, and it just losing for, the overall well-being, overall health, improving metabolic function, decreasing your swelling, hormonal rebalance, using it for that aspect.
Yeah. Amazing. That's definitely what I'm going for.
Me too.
I don't have any post-op, but I have definitely been going just for my well-being and moving things. And I would have to say, my very first session that I had with Carissa was amazing. Meeting her, being in her space, connecting with her was just an amazing experience. It was very healing for me. And I definitely, me personally, experienced some detox symptoms that Carissa had shared with me that are possible, that can show up. And I did definitely that entire week had detox symptoms, which for me resulted in, headaches. And I had like flu-like symptoms, but didn't have the flu, just felt nauseous and just really tired. And apparently this isn't, I guess maybe most people don't feel these detox symptoms to that degree, but I do know that I'm typically one that will experience something quite deeply. So, because I don't know if it's just I'm sensitive or what, but yeah, so that was my experience. And it wasn't that it was horrible, but it was so good once I had moved through, like moving all of the stuff out of my system. And I felt amazing. I had so much more energy. I felt like I was sleeping better. My body felt better. I felt lighter. I don't even know in what way I felt lighter, but I did. And it was something that I knew that my body really, I think it just was received really well. And so I just wanted to continue coming to see you to keep moving things. So I've been kind of going once a month has been my goal of maintenance. And I'm not sure if there's other suggestions that you give to people of how often they should go or anything like that, but I know that's kind of been my schedule. So
yes, detox symptoms are real, especially the first few sessions. Stagnant lymph definitely can cause detox symptoms, like you said, mild headaches, extreme fatigue, flu-like symptoms. The biggest thing about, and the great thing about Brazilian lymphatic drainage is we are opening up your detox pathway. So if you're congested or your lymphatic system is congested, you're not moving anything through your body, through your liver, through your kidneys, right? And we need to open up that detox pathway. And once those toxins are released through the lymphatic system, we have 2 to 3 times as much lymph fluid as we do blood. So if that becomes stagnant and we start pushing it into the bloodstream, that's where those detox symptoms kick in. Not everyone experiences it. Definitely, it's person to person for sure. But I always say for the first couple sessions, detox symptoms are definitely real to come back, about once a week for about 3 sessions. And then it's maintenance. A lot of people will actually cycle things.
Okay.
Some people can feel best coming before their cycle or typically a week after their cycle for flushing and clearing out their bodies. And then other ones come as need be.
Oh, that's good to know too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Shelly, were you going to ask a question?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just going to ask if you would explain a little bit about the process of doing or experiencing a Brazilian lymphatic massage.
Sure. So most people have heard of manual lymphatic drainage massage. It's often performed by your massage therapist. It's a very soft, slow, light pressure touch, and is used typically for like medical purposes. So thinking like lymphedema, where Brazilian lymphatic drainage is more geared toward the aesthetic purposes, hormonal health, reducing swelling, inflammation, metabolic function, and then body contouring. We do it a little bit different in our studio where we have the combination of Brazilian lymphatic drainage, but as you know, we also start on a vibration plate trainer. And we have you on a full red light therapy mat. And it's just combining these techniques, it creates a powerful, like, synergistic wellness routine. And it affects multiple body functions, right? So we're regulating the nervous system. We're focusing on the endocrine hormonal system, the metabolic system, and then as well as the lymphatic system and liver. So we combine all three modalities for optimal results.
Awesome.
It's a little bit a firmer touch than manual lymphatic drainage. There's definitely more pressure. The strokes are a bit quicker, depending for the contouring effect versus manual lymphatic drainage. It's a full body treatment, so we go head to toe. Your lymph is found in fascia. So majority of what we actually do is fascia work. So a lot of rolling, pulling, tugging of the skin. There's definitely pressure, but there should not be pain. It is done without oil. So majority of our work is done dry. And then we will use oil to finish off the massage.
Okay. So can you tell us, like, I know that there are lots, but maybe just for our listeners that don't know what the lymphatic system is and how many, lymphatics we have in our body.
We have tons of lymph nodes in your body. They're found all over your body from head to toe. We do have 12 major pressure points, we'll call them, on something that those are areas that we can manually touch or pump on a day-to-day basis to get your lymphatic system working optimally from home. This is also helpful to use and remember prior to such modalities like dry brushing or using your gua sha or rebounding to get your lymphatic flow going if you're not coming in for your lymphatic drainage massages. Majority of your lymph nodes are actually found in your neck, so in your terminus, and then in your cervical nodes, your tonsil nodes. Then we have them in the armpits. You have one right in between your sternum, right near the groin, behind the knees, and the ankle would be your biggest lymph node movers.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
And head to toe.
Yeah.
It is head to toe.
Awesome. I'm glad you said that because, like I said, I know that, for some people, they may not know what, that we have lymphs. I mean, I would imagine most people do, but knowing where they are and how they work in your body. So thank you for explaining that as well, because there are, and it's amazing how many we do actually have. Like, they're everywhere. They're like even in your ear, around your ears. And, like, it's amazing how many we have. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. And so I know, Shelly, we asked prior to coming on the call today, I had asked Shelly if she had experienced this modality yet. And she had just recently gone, 2 weeks ago, you had said?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And what was your experience like?
Actually, it was, like, as you listeners know, I'm not sure if Carissa knows, but I do have quite a bit of heart issues. So I do have, like, I've had open heart surgery. I have a pacemaker too, or an ICD. However, so mine was a little bit different. So, like, when I was with the therapist, we went over everything and just making sure that, it was safe enough for me to do so. And it is, but just different pressure points that she, was making sure that I was comfortable with, which I was very appreciative of. And so she worked on me and we did a lot of breath work together. And it was something that I don't know how I don't know how to explain this, but it was like obviously I've never had it done before, so I didn't know really what to expect. And so when she explained it all, I was kind of like, okay, yes, you've explained it to me, but to really experience it, it was like, okay. So then she started and at first it was like, oh, like, this is great. Like, this is just so, in a way for me, it was relaxing because it kind of just, did make me feel like knowing it was part of, like, a fascial system, because we do go see myofascial massages and all that stuff. So it did feel like that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, when it gets to the abdomen, I was like impressed, because I was like, nobody ever really, like, I've been to massages. I've,
Yeah.
it's not the same, right? Like I'm just not that type of person that likes traditional massages. I just am not that person. So when she did that, I was like, oh, I love this, like, because she's just right in there, right? And doing the, the movements and asking me to do, breath work and moving the stuff. And I will say there was 2 moments. One where she was near my ear. So like, I do have ear problems. It gets to the point where it's almost like, when you've been on an airplane and then you land and then you have that pressure in your ear and it feels like it's plugged. I've had that for like 10 years. And so she worked on my ear and I could actually feel it draining. Like I could actually feel the coolness like drain down my neck. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, honest to God, I was like, I was blown away.
You're like, what is this? Why have I not had this in my life?
Yeah, I wish I would have known about it, because I think then my ear would be better to, like, it's much better. It's still a little bit there, and I know I'm going to do it again, but it's just amazing how instant it was when she did it. And it was just like this drainage feeling, like cool. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's super, like, you would probably understand what I'm talking about, but it's like, it was
she
like,
probably does.
Just this weird sensation going down my ear and down my neck. And then when she did my belly, like, because I do have IBS and I have problems with my gut. And I will say that she helped. I know for a fact, especially the one under the sternum, like it's always been like hard as a rock, really. And I've tried everything else to get rid, like move it. I've done, floor work, myofascial, and it's still there. So that's why I got recommended to do Brazilian lymphatic. And so when she did that, it actually lessened. Like I can actually feel that spot without it being like rock hard.
Feels softer.
So, yeah, it does. And I was very impressed. And so the lady that worked on me, she took a before and after photo, because she was also doing sculpting. And so I couldn't believe it. Like at the beginning, I couldn't even see my belly button. And at the end I did. So it was like, whoa.
Amazing.
So I was thrilled. And I was like you, Bev, after it, I didn't have any really detox that I know of, but I felt so energized. I was like, whoa, like I felt good. Like,
I
like
felt so
on a
good,
high.
like charged.
Yeah. Just like going to the EE, like it just was just boom, like up here. So it was great.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. So, but I mean, she recommended me to not come back until about 5 or 6 weeks or whenever I feel again. So I don't know. So I just told her like I would come back, or like I would, do it again somewhere, whatever. But I definitely recommend it. It was something that it blew my mind, to be honest. I was like, as soon as I was done and I got in the car and I told my husband all about it, and I was like, you should do this. This is something like
you're like, I'm sold. Everybody should do this. Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I'm so glad that Carissa's on here too, sharing and talking about this. That's so great.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm so glad that, like that you're doing this for people, because it is something that is part of our body, and something that we like anything, any organ is going to plug up. And, especially the liver, and I do have like kidney problems too. And so it's amazing that we can do these things to help our bodies. And it's amazing that you're trained to do this, to help other people to do this, like to go through their, health journey, really. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And Carissa, are you the only one in Saskatoon?
At this time, yes.
At
Yes.
this time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's our gal, people. If you're in Saskatoon and area, come and see her because she's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'm glad you had a really positive experience. I know I had a really positive experience as well.
Yeah.
I love that you experienced movement and
Yeah.
like everything, as I know, energy is everything and energy has to move. This is also, even in Reiki, it's the energy has to move. We feel stuck, we feel stagnant. So this is how I also view this in my own understanding of energetic. And so this is also why I love myofascial release massage, because again, it's like movement within the fascial system. And so I love movement, whether it's exercising to moving energy to moving things in my body. And so this was just like another level for me that I get to, kind of access and to like move those things, which is super important, as you were saying, Carissa, even for like hormonal issues. And just as women, I feel like, that's so important for us, because I feel like we're so dysregulated and we keep hearing that's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. And it's not normal, people. This is not normal. So, I don't know if you agree with that, but
Definitely agree. It's not normal.
It's
No.
not normal.
We shouldn't be struggling the way that people are struggling nowadays, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah, absolutely. So you're, go ahead, Shelly.
I was just going to ask Carissa, so do you find with your clients that come to see you, do they come because, obviously they're coming for the drainage, but do you find, you had mentioned earlier about them laying on the red light and just helping with their nervous system, do you find that they really find that it helps their nervous system more than just the drainage? Or do you think it's like a total package of all of it, just helping everything in the body by doing both, like lymphatic?
The trio definitely enhances the overall experience. But we also offer just red light therapy sessions. And red light therapy is amazing so much on its own. Most people can be in that red light therapy bed for 5 to 10 minutes and are out cooled. It regulates the nervous system and the vagus nerve enough that they can completely shut off and find that calm and zen and fall asleep within minutes. Now, obviously, when we are doing the massage, there's movement and you're shifting from side to side and full body. So there's definitely a bit more movement while doing the massage on the red light, but we do offer red light therapy as a standalone service as well.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. That's great.
Yeah. And you had mentioned that, I don't remember what you call it, but what's the shaking thing?
The vibration plate trainer.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes. I was like, what is that thing? Did you do that, Shelly?
No, I can't go on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That makes sense. Sorry. Magnetic. Got it. Took me a minute. Okay. I forgot you can't be around magnets. I would have to say, from my experience with Carissa, the first one that I went to, we did all of it. I did the plate first. So she shook me all up and she was explaining things that you would feel, which is that weird kind of
tingling,
itchy, tingling feeling, know? And I was like, I have that already, like right off top. She's like, oh, okay, maybe, you have a little bit of stagnant lymph. So I'm like, okay. And then we got onto the table and I was in the red light as well. And then she did the whole, I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I had no idea. I didn't know where they all were. I was just like, I just think this is what I need. And so she started at the top and, and it's so gentle. And like, honestly, when you talked about like a little bit more pressure, it felt so gentle and so relaxing. But also like, it's weird because it's gentle and relaxing, but also deep feeling at the same time. That's how I feel. And then she just moved all the way down and all the way back up. And it was so lovely. And then I also did the add-on for the red light at the end. And so then she zips you up and you're in it in the red light bed. And then she leaves you. And I conked right. I was so relaxed, honestly, like I swear I've never been. And then she came back and I was like, oh my God, like I could literally lay here all day. It was Awesome. So then I had my major detox. Then I went back. I know Carissa had mentioned, coming 3 times in a week or back to back 3 weeks or something.
Yeah,
You had
yeah,
mentioned
back to
earlier.
back once a
You
week for 3
recommend?
weeks. Yeah, you didn't make that.
I didn't do
I was
that.
going to say, how did you do that?
I couldn't. She was like, let's not do that. Maybe come back in a month. So that's kind of what I'm on. And then the last time I came, I was short on time myself. And so we didn't do the plate. And so she just did the lymphatic. And then I didn't have the time at the end either. That session, I would have to say, felt so different. It felt like I was in there for maintenance. I feel like I didn't go through that whole, this whole beautiful relaxation. Like it just didn't feel like the start to finish that I had experienced the first time. And that would definitely be my preference moving forward. Be like, okay, make time, be there on time, and go through all of it and have the add-on at the end, because it really was amazing on all levels. So that's basically my experience. So yeah. So would you recommend that people come as well, maybe when they're fighting something like a cold or anything like that?
Yeah, it's great to help boost the immune system. Now, I'll definitely work if it's like cold or anything minor. As soon as you start running a fever, we will not work on you. Same thing goes for kids. As soon as there's a fever, we don't move lymph. It is what it is, and it's got to work its way out. There's different modalities that you can use once you're gone to a full-blown fever. But if you are ill or in the process of feeling sick, definitely jump either into a sauna, the red light therapy, do the Brazilian Lymphatic Drainage, and honestly, it will flush out whatever you're fighting for the most part pretty quickly. As we see, especially more so in kids, it's almost instant within days that kids can flush out any kind of infection that they're starting to fight, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, so, it's amazing.
Would you be is there anybody that can't have it done?
We will not work on anyone that has cancer unless they've been in remission. Anyone that's in chemo, radiation, depending on specific and special modalities. Lymphedema, I mean, it can work. Technique has changed slightly. And the underlying issues are different. So I'd say special populations we typically wouldn't touch a lot of. But for the everyday people, we can work with.
Right. Okay. I also was curious. I didn't even think to ask this question to the therapists that I've seen, but in my intake form, they did say something about being on antibiotics. And if you had been on antibiotics, during that week or prior or what have you. So is that something else that you just don't work on people who've had antibiotics, or what is the reasoning for that?
It's great to come see us after your antibiotics. We love to flush it out of the system, right? Antibiotics definitely wreaks havoc on your lymphatic system, on your gut health, on your liver, you name it. But the benefit of lymphatic drainage is to move toxins. And at that moment, that antibiotic is in theory a toxin, but we actually need it to fight the infection, right? So we want it to work prior to getting it flushed out. So I'd say after your round of antibiotics would be an ideal time to come in for a lymphatic drainage massage.
Good to know, because I go to the dentist next week and I have to take antibiotics. So I
gotta wait.
Wait till after.
I know. That's what I mean. Good. I'll go after, which that will help flush it out, right?
Flush.
So
yeah.
Okay, good to know. Because like I said, I totally forgot to ask why. Like I just seen it in there and I thought, well, no, I'm not taking, you know what I mean? So I was just curious about why that would be, but that makes total sense, right? So okay, awesome. I'm so glad I asked that. So
I think you see, and what you can actually feel after doing this for so many years, is people who've been on lots of rounds of antibiotics, even like starting from a kid, right? Your ENT issues, your tonsil issues, and then going into adulthood, whatever that may be. Antibiotics really clogs up or congest your lymphatic system. So people who have been on lots of rounds of antibiotics, typically their lymph system is pretty weak, pretty poor. It's very sluggish. This is the people that we'll typically see who have autoimmune conditions, asthma, allergies. Those would be your biggest things. And it just means that their detox pathways are closed, nothing's moving. And so those people we see typically more often or more frequent, just to open up the detox pathways, we can start moving the antibiotics out of the system, get those toxins releasing from the body, and really helping people heal in that journey.
Okay. Well, that's great to know, because my daughter, she had been on antibiotics since she was 6 years old, because she had to be on it because they had to prevent her getting a staph infection from because she went through something when she was little. And so she always had to have antibiotics every day until she was like 17 years old. And so that just made me go ding. So I will be talking to my daughter about this. So
yeah,
to get her to go and try it.
Does she struggle with autoimmune or asthma, allergies?
She has asthma.
Conditions?
Yeah, she has asthma. So that's why I went ding again. So I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to her about this so that I can get her to try it. Yeah. So
I have a daughter that was on lots of antibiotics too as a child, and that's kind of what got me into the world of creating my course and workshop on lymphatic drainage therapy for children. And that's something that I teach parents, a technique that you can use for their children. And the goal is to be preventative, is to get those kids not on antibiotics, because it does stem from a child. They say for any kid that's been on more than a couple of rounds of antibiotics as a child is 50% likely to get asthma, allergies, and autoimmune conditions as an adult, which is a huge
that's a huge
status,
percentage,
right? Wow. So I do so much preventative work, right? So especially with the ENT issues, the ears, nose, throat, kids who have constant strep throat or tonsillitis, getting tubes put in. If we can get to the point of, as soon as there's swollen lymph nodes, teaching parents how to drain those lymph nodes, we could probably prevent majority of those infections, like from it getting onto a fever and even having the antibiotics, therefore avoiding surgery. And then these autoimmune issues as they get older, which then ultimately too, antibiotics affect their gut health. So then you have that gut-brain axis that goes onto a whole nother world of issues as well that affects, liver, that can do a lot of things with IBS, Crohn's, colitis, any stomach issues as well, coming back from these kids, right? Being on antibiotics. So that is something that I also teach parents because of my own experience. And my daughter struggled with strep throat. I can say we probably were on antibiotics monthly for 2 years until after my separation. We moved to completely a toxic-free home. I started doing lymphatic drainage work, getting my kid on a rebounder, kind of like a vibration plate trainer, but mini trampolines. That's fun for kids. And just doing daily lymphatic drainage massage for her, and she hasn't had an infection in nearly 4 years.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
that's amazing.
The proof of what my stuff does. It truly works. It works for kids. It's amazing for adults. It goes both ways.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
That's
like
incredible.
I said, because like I said, my daughter, she was born, and when she was born, it was about the age of 3-ish or so, and she was diagnosed with asthma. So she was on an inhaler. And then by the age of 6, she had like an incident and her joints were swelling up. So of course they were like, something else is wrong with her, and she was getting strep. So she had to remove the tonsils.
Which is our lymph mover. Right. So your tonsils and your adenoids are your major lymph movers in the face. So as soon as you remove those, which we see so common in children, right?
Totally.
It just becomes so much stagnation in the face and the head, and nothing's draining into your neck, right? And then we look at the world of ADHD and spectrum disorders or sensory conditions, and we look at how your lymphatic system is your major drainage pathway of the toxins in the brain that will therefore drain into the lymphatic system. So if that's congested, right, then we create a different issue where there's so much stagnation going on in the brain along with the lymph, and then add, the fact that you've removed tonsils or lymph movers in the face. We have screens. So much of these kids nowadays are looking at screens, their heads down. There's no spinal fluid moving, there's no lymph moving through C2, C3, right? Having a lot of that congestion. And then we have some of these issues, right, that are directly affected with congested lymphatic system, like the ENT issues, the autoimmune things, and things that we can work on to have preventative measures for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I wish, again, like obviously, you don't learn these things till later in life, but I really wish that I would have had this information for sure for my daughter, right? Because then she might have not have had to been, on all these things for her. And
of course,
but this is good. This is why we have people, right? This is why we have this, and this is why we bring people on to give knowledge and all the things, and to spread it around so that people know what this is, and how important it is to take care of your body in a natural way, in a natural way. So
yeah, absolutely.
Great.
So Carissa, you had mentioned that you teach this to parents to work on their children. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Yes.
That's amazing. And so where could somebody find that information, or where do you teach them? Is it in person? Is it online?
We do both. So we have an online e-course that offers all the techniques and videos on going through the techniques and processes that I've created, as well as I teach live workshops.
Awesome.
They're fairly short. We have one coming up here in Saskatoon, but then we have another one coming up in Alberta and Calgary in June, and Regina, I believe, at the end of June, beginning of July. And then we're going out east for summer and just teaching those online live courses.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. Well, I was just wondering because as Shelly was mentioning about her daughter has 3 young children under the age of 4. So, maybe this is something that she could learn and be able to help her kids. And so I just thought maybe I was just wondering if it's only, in person, or is there's some other options. So, which is incredible. So what are the dates for the Saskatoon one coming up? You mentioned that that's coming up soon.
May 25th, Sunday, May 25th. We are doing the one in Saskatoon.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, this podcast will be out before that. So if there is anybody that's listening that is interested in her live course coming up on the 25th, please reach out to her and register. And of course, we will have all her details with the show notes and things like that, and how you can get a hold of Carissa to join. So that would be amazing. I think everybody should do that.
Yeah.
Like if I had young kids all over again, I'd be in it. I think I would just do it just because it's just amazing. I mean, I'd be like, let me help all the little kids. I just want to do it to help little kids. That would just be me. So yeah, that's amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. Awesome.
That is so incredible. Yeah, I'm just like, gosh, I want to talk about this all day. It's so interesting. I feel I actually have one more question I definitely would like to ask. I'm curious because there are so many women who have a lot of, issues with their menstrual cycle, or, cysts, or, just different reproductive concerns and issues, I guess, that they're struggling with, and lots of pain during cycles and things like that. Do you know anybody in your practice so far that maybe struggles with some of these, and have they had any changes or anything like that, or anything that you can share with us or our listeners? Because I do know there's a lot of women out there that do. And
I see a lot, from those struggling with infertility to PCOS, to those with endometriosis, to those with irregular cycles. A lot of it comes down to detox pathways. We look at scar tissue, adhesions, anytime where there's a blockage in blood flow or lymph flow. So like Shelly was saying, on the abdomen, we do a lot of visceral massage work to get things moving, to soften things up. So we want to get the blood flow going to our reproductive organs. And I think that's our biggest stagnation, where when we're not getting proper blood flow and we're not getting lymph to our organs, we have a lot of other issues that we're dealing with. So Brazilian lymphatic drainage does help with that endocrine system. It helps bring blood flow to our reproductive organs. It does help regulate our cycles.
Awesome.
In theory, a cycle shouldn't be heavy or painful with major cramps. It should be fairly easy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They say that it's normal to have
They
all
say
this,
it's normal. This is what's frustrating. Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely menopause and the perimenopausal symptoms too. We're going through that again. What's not normal? So if we can increase blood flow, open up our detox pathways, fully detox our bodies, improve liver function, people will start to feel amazing. And I think that comes to with a lot of infertility that we see as well is blockages in our reproductive system. I have a couple clients in Saskatoon. We have Aurora as our infertility clinic, and I do see quite a few clients that come from there that are not quite all ready to have medical help,
intervention.
Intervention, yep. And then, definitely more sessions are required, but typically on average, working with these women within, I would say 2 to 3 months, they fall pregnant naturally. And I think a lot of it is just clearing out stagnant toxins, getting blood flow back to our vital organs and what we need. Obviously regulating the nervous system too, obviously helping, getting into that parasympathetic or that calm state of mind can help with fertility. And I do see a lot of my clients struggle with, infertility that, within 3 months fall pregnant.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's amazing. I love it. I'm already thinking, I'm like, this person, this person,
Me too.
this person, this person. I'm just like, oh my gosh, why didn't I talk about this the other day? Okay, I got to reach back out to her and I got to tell her to do this. And so, it's amazing. I'm super excited. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, it is amazing. And like we had said earlier, like we do this stuff because we want more knowledge, right? And we also want to know, or not just not know, but like get it out there so that people that don't know about this,
of course,
can do something about it differently than like what we were talking about, medical intervention, right? I think a lot of people just fall flat to that every time. They just go to the medical side of things, which is fine. I'm not against medical things. There are things that we do need in this world that need to be medical.
Absolutely.
However, I do believe that, like, and I know Bev believes it too, like you can heal your body by doing natural ways of healing, and so it's just amazing. And how many different modalities there are out there that people don't know about, right? And so it's great.
It is truly amazing. And I do feel that there is a place for like the Western and the medical, and all of that. But what I can say for myself in my own practice is that in the last few years, for sure, I have definitely experienced more and more clients who are feeling that the Western medicine world is failing them, or they're not getting the support that they need, or they're not getting any answers. They don't know where else to go or what to do. And so they are seeking different modalities because they're desperate. They're just like, I got to find something. There's got to be something. So for me, it's always amazing to have so many amazing people that do amazing work that can help on so many different levels, because again, there's just so much to our bodies and we're so bombarded with so much, just even as from a child into our adult life, of everything that's in our environment to everything that we put into our bodies as well. And so I just love that there's so many people that I can, send other people to, because what I do know on people's healing journeys is that it's not one modality, it's many modalities. Because again, it depends on where you are, what you're dealing with, and what you're needing to support that. And sometimes it's unlayering one thing and it leads to another, or sometimes maybe, that's something that you need to continue doing to bring yourself into a regulated state, or a healthier state. So I super appreciate everything that you're doing, Carissa. And I'm just so happy that you're here in Saskatoon and that you can serve all the people in the surrounding areas, or anyone that wants to travel to come and see you. And I love that you are also so passionate about this, and that it is an alternative. And you're also really wanting to target, working with parents to help children as well. Again, starting at that young age. And that is definitely I want to say the direction that we are going in nowadays is like there's more and more people that are open to alternative healing, holistic healing modalities, looking for different things and more natural. And also, if we can start young, it's great because those children also can learn this through their life and continue to do that, and just expand, and also for their children. And so this is just like a movement that I see that's happening. And I'm so happy that you are also a part of that movement and bringing some healing to people. So thank you for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh. So, is there anything else that you would like to add, for our listeners today?
I don't
Any
think so.
last information? Anything
Is
else
there
you
anything
feel
that we
do you feel like
missed?
we covered it all? Yeah.
That's a lot. But
It was a lot.
it was a lot, right? It's a lot of science,
Yeah.
a lot of technical aspects to it too. I think
Absolutely.
what we have for day one is great.
Good. Awesome. I love it. Great place to start. It's a great
Yes.
foundation. If, of course, if anyone out there that's listening has any questions or anything like that, I know Carissa would be more than happy to chat with you if you wanted to get in touch with her, maybe on some specific things that maybe you're dealing with or working through that, you could get her advice on and see if it's a fit for you, or maybe you just want to give it a try. So where can our listeners find you, Carissa?
On my social media, it's at
Awesome.
sculpted.cosmetics. You can send me a DM there. I have all my contact information on there as well. You can send me an email. And I have a phone number on our website as well.
Awesome. That's wonderful.
I will definitely make sure that all your contact information will be in the show notes for anyone that does want to, contact Carissa. And I'll have a little bio on there as well for you all to read and get a hold of her that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it was so great to have you on. I want to thank all of our listeners, for tuning in. And we hope that you really enjoyed this episode and our special guest, Carissa Peters. And yes, we are sending you lots of love, light, and gratitude wherever this may find you. So thank you so much, Carissa, and take care, everybody.
Thank you again, Carissa.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.